What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to talk about with you guys. This time actually revolving around the Chicago Bulls and Isiah Thomas, with Isiah Thomas actually stating on a Instagram live that he says that he would like to play with Zach LaVine in Chicago. I believe he actually said that he's always wanted to play with Chicago, then Zach LaVine's his homie or something like that. So again, I think this is very, very interesting and something that the Chicago Bulls should definitely do. And I can literally guarantee, and I think a lot of people know this as well, the Chicago Bulls will definitely be interested in Isiah Thomas. I think we've heard a couple of reports as well that there has been a little bit of a connection with the Chicago Bulls, and the Chicago Bulls are currently in the market right now, I do believe, to sign a backup point guard in free agency. So I definitely think the Chicago Bulls are going to be interested in, Isiah Thomas, and Isiah Thomas is interested in playing for the Chicago Bulls. So I actually think this is extremely awesome in my opinion, and yeah, something they should definitely do. For example, currently on the Chicago Bulls roster, I think this is the season where they kind of make and break for Zach LaVine. Obviously, Zach LaVine has been putting up a lot of points per game. He's literally been carrying this team, actually has been carrying this team, in my opinion. They're currently the 11th seed, 22 wins. If they didn't have Zach LaVine, I honestly don't know if they would probably have maybe 17 to 18. I think Zach LaVine has been a massive difference for them this season. He's by far their best player, and he's averaging 25.5 points per game on 38% from 3. It's absolutely ridiculous, but I think there's going to be a lot of changes for the Chicago Bulls that they definitely need to make. For example, Lauri Markkanen. For those of you who haven't heard, there's been a lot of rumors going around that Lauri Markkanen and his manager and agents will actually request a trade from the Chicago Bulls. It's reported that Lauri Markkanen isn't happy about his time at the Chicago Bulls. He's currently not playing good at all. Only 14.7 points per game on 6.3 rebounds. Obviously, terrible defense on 34.4% from 3. When before that, it was 18.7 points per game and 9 rebounds on 36% from 3. He was obviously playing a lot better. So I definitely think they need to get this, managed. I think that if Lauri Markkanen doesn't want to be on the Chicago Bulls, they got to trade him. They got to try and get something back for him. Coby White, I think, is a very interesting player. If he can build a tank and actually, get there like that, I think he's a pretty capable defender and he's a right player. I think, yeah, they've actually got a relatively decent point guard in Coby White, so I'm sure he'll have a bigger role next season. He'll start. Otto Porter Jr., I expect them to potentially re-sign. He's only played 14 games this season. Obviously, he's going off that $27 million a season. Wendell Carter Jr. will hopefully, get more consistent throughout the season. He only played 43 games due to injury. And Thaddeus Young, who's had a pretty, not exactly the greatest season. I expect them to potentially keep him, but look, they could trade him. Thomas Satoransky, who's played a lot of shooting guard to small forward throughout the season for the Chicago Bulls so far. I expect them to, potentially keep him. And then the team other than that is very, very mysterious. They've got Chandler Hutchinson, which I think they might potentially bring back. He played 28 games. Chris Dunn, he could, I believe, he could actually potentially leave in free agency. If a team offers him a ridiculous amount, he might leave. And then they've just got a bunch of, random players. They've got, Cristiano Felicio, who's only getting a game because of his really huge contract. I honestly believe they might as well just waive him at this point. There's no point having him on the team. Shaquille Harrison, Luke Cornett, Daniel Gafford, they're just, 13 to 15, man. They're going to improve here and there as well. And then, yeah, so the team is pretty interesting. I expect there to be a lot of changes. I expect Lauri Markkanen to potentially get traded. I think Thad Young could potentially get traded. Chris Dunn might potentially leave in the free agency. Or again, they might not even want to bring him back. And yeah, I think those are going to be a couple of changes that might potentially happen. And then if that was to all happen, then they've got Coby White as their starting point guard. They've got Satoransky, I'd say, who plays backup point and shooting guard, but I feel like he'll have a predominant shooting role. I definitely think they need to sign a backup point guard. I think a cool play would be Goran Dragic. They could potentially sign. But of course, Isiah Thomas, I think he would be a great player they should potentially get. Look, he can play a 10th to 15th man type of role on the team if they really wanted him to. So I think it would be literally a perfect scenario, really, for both, parties. And again, all of these teams, I don't understand why Isiah Thomas is really not on a roster. Look, yes, he's not the greatest defender or anything like that, but I don't see what's the harm of having him as like a 13th man. He doesn't even need like a super big role. I feel like some teams are just looking at Isiah Thomas and like, well, how are we going to fit this guy into 15 minutes per night or something like that? But I feel like that doesn't need to be the case anymore. I honestly believe any team could really just sign him now and have him as a, 12th man or something like that. He maybe get 5 to 10 minutes a night, and then when your backup point or, backup shooting guard goes to injury, then, you can move one of that backup point to shooting guard, and then he could play backup point guard off the bench, or you could just play backup point guard off the bench normally. Again, he had a really good season for the Washington Wizards on 23 minutes per game. He was 41% from 3 on 12.2 points per game. He obviously has it. Look, you don't have to give him the 23 minutes a night. There's teams you could just go out and give him 10 to 15 minutes. So again, if you can't manage that, I definitely think Isiah Thomas, he just wants to be on an NBA team at this point, and I think the Chicago Bulls would definitely be a pretty nice team for Isiah Thomas, to potentially go and sign with. And look, they might try and trade for Derrick Rose as well, which is going to be the highly, rumor of them could do. And if they can't get Derrick Rose, there's rumors that they're actually going to go, out and try and sign Goran Dragic. But even if they get Goran Dragic or Derrick Rose, what's the harm of signing Isiah Thomas and having him as the 12th or 13th man or something like that? I honestly believe they've been rebuilding for so long now. Fans just want to see them trying to compete, and they've still got players like, that Ryan Arcidiacono or so. I've forgotten even how you pronounce his last name, but he's on 16 minutes per night. Isiah Thomas is a lot better than what he is and all that type of stuff. You got, again, players like Chris Dunn and potentially Lauri Markkanen that I don't even know if they want to be at the Chicago Bulls. I know Lauri Markkanen doesn't want to be. I've heard there's been a couple of teams that are interested in Chris Dunn, like the Clippers. And so again, it's a very, very interesting situation. I look at a lot of these players on the Chicago Bulls, and Satoransky can play shooting guard. Again, Chris Dunn, yes, he's your backup point guard. Will he still be there though next season? I'm guessing he most likely will be. But yeah, again, there's been a lot of rumors they might go in a different direction and just go for Goran Dragic over Chris Dunn, which I think would be the smart move in my opinion. But yeah, again, the Chicago Bulls team, they've definitely got a lot to figure out. They will most likely have a top 5 pick, this year. I do believe, well, not necessarily a top 5 pick, but a top 10 pick, I would probably say, going into this season. So they'll have a top 10 pick. They have the room to make a couple trades. They're reportedly going to be trading Lauri Markkanen. Otto Porter Jr.'s big $27 million contract does end. There's going to be a very big offseason for the Chicago Bulls. I think they should definitely maybe a bad team in the league. I don't know what bad team it could be, but they've got to get rid of that Cristiano Felicio contract. I don't know. They're going to have to give up a couple of picks to be able to do it. But a team like, Detroit, who aren't in the space to be trying to rebuild, to contend rather, who are going to be wanting to start a new rebuild, try and, get rid of his contract to them or something like that, I think would be a pretty smart move in my opinion. But yeah, again, it's going to be very interesting to see what the Chicago Bulls are going to be able to do, but I definitely think Isiah Thomas should 100% be on their radar. And obviously, yeah, Isiah Thomas does want to go to the Chicago Bulls, it does look like. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for the latest NBA content and NBA news. Don't forget to comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts and opinions on this? Do you guys think it'd be a good idea for the the Chicago Bulls to sign Isiah Thomas? Again, I definitely would really like to know your thoughts and opinions on it all down below. And yeah, again, go check out my podcast and subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/long channel if you haven't already. Links for them will all be in the description down below. And yeah, just let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on Isiah Thomas and the Chicago Bulls. And also, I was saying, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.